You just got to wake this machine up, all right? If you don't, it sort of has a slow start. Anyway, you are allowed one guess as to who created this beautiful music. Right. Well, Handel could do it. He had a few amens at the end of his old Messiah. Why shouldn't I as well have an amen to this day? A second amen to this day. Right. So, well, it's certainly not scripted, that's for sure. I've no idea where my thoughts come from. It's a mystery, quite frankly. I've just made that film. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be, so that would seem that one's life is kind of mapped out by God even before we're conceived. Then abortion. I mean, I feel very strongly about the manufacture and sale of arms, neither of which, quite frankly, I can do much about, really. I mean, the two commandments, we've always got the two commandments. So love God, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, this is Handel's Messiah. The sound has gone out in all the world. Well, Christ's light is shining in this world. There's something that's at the end of the Gospel of Matthew, the Great Commission. Go forth and make Christians of the whole world, Christ said to his apostles. And it's a sort of injunction upon us all, hence missionaries and so on. Which I have one in my background too, a Scottish missionary called William Ross, who trained with Dr. David Livingstone, the missionary who people may have heard of. So, just imagine how much worse the world would be without Christians of all time in the last 2,000 years who have loved God through Christ and then tried to fulfill the second commandment, to love one's neighbor as oneself. I'm absolutely wrestling with that. I absolutely, definitively, positively sure that I have not done enough yet in this dark world to let that light of Christ shine. I mean, potentially through this magic machine, these films are available to virtually the whole world. And I get what? 5, 10, 15 views on average. So it's not the quantity, it's the quality of those who bother to listen. Eh? Ah. I mean, I made a couple of films years ago now. I was on this sort of pilgrimage. So I was off all around the world and living in, whilst my money still lasted, in sort of bed and breakfast. I think this was a kind of youth hostel type place I was in. There was a map of England, and I made this film, Evangelize, England, Britain. Evangelize. And that was probably 10 years ago. Just doesn't seem to happen. COVID is on, they seem to be getting on top of it in England now. So then people think, oh, we'll just go back to normal. No way. There are going to be much worse pestilences until people really get it. Okay? That's it. This is just the first of several. And if people can't see that, they're blind and deaf. Because they're not seeing or hearing God yet. I'm awfully sorry. Quite frankly, I'm not sorry at all. I'm with Jonah. Jonah went to the citizens of Nineveh, said, repent. They jolly well did, and Jonah was miffed because they jolly did. He thought God ought to strike them with a thunderbolt, etc. But they did repent. If you read the book of Jonah. Well, I mean, it is blatantly obvious the world is not for repenting yet. Oh dear. And who is the boss then? What? Little mankind? Oh, please. Why can't people just get it? Surely there must be some people who get it. Not just me, I get it. God is the boss. There's going to be wailing and gnashing of teeth and stuff, and people thrown into the fiery furnace. It's all there. I don't bang on about it all the time. I've always listened to this. This is the Appassionata. And I started at the slow movement, and then he goes into this. I mean, it's been played by Daniel Barenboim, who knew all of Beethoven's 32 piano sonatas by heart, no music, at the age of 17, and then he's done 2 cycles, once when he was about 30-ish, and then I think the second cycle he was sort of 50s, in his 50s, so more mature. But no music, he just knows them. Okay, and there's this line, I watched a masterclass by him through the whole sonata. So there's the technical, I mean, I can just about play a few of the slow movements. And even then I'm getting rusty now. I haven't played the piano for years, but to master the whole technicalities of this sonata is one thing, and I've seen young people sort of I don't know, even a 10-year-old, quite frankly, playing Mozart it was, but technically, right? But that's not the point. You have to have the maturity to understand that there's actually an emotional sort of line pervading the whole sonata. So you're playing to that line all the time. There's these notes going on here, but there's like a bigger wave going on underneath, carrying you through the whole 20. I don't think that any of them longer than 30 minutes. It's normally just 3 movements. So it's in a classical form, but he broke the mold, Beethoven. Mozart was still in the sort of normal classical rigid tradition. I know Mozart was brilliant too, of course. I'm not so keen on Mozart, but Beethoven then came and just did what he did. Obviously it was Bach before. Minor transgression into the musical world. So, right. Through much of this whole of this last year, I've been, especially the early, so from March, Monday the 23rd, anyway, the coronavirus lockdown in Britain, bang. And then I've been making these films, trying to get this message across, that we ought to listen. Human beings, ordinary people, every one of us. Listen to God. Listen that, wherever it came from, however it escaped or was manufactured or promulgated or distributed or whatever, but the fact is that one little bug virtually has closed down the whole world just on its own. Do you think God can't invent other bugs? Read the book of Exodus and the plagues that were visited upon the Egyptians because they were stuffing God's chosen people, the Israelites. Right? Let my people go. Paul Robeson does it much better than I. Right, enough of me. Repent, prepare ye the way for the Lord. It's in Isaiah, for heaven's sake, chapter 40, 700 years before Christ. I'm just echoing it, all right? Repent, prepare ye the way for the Lord. Amen. Here we go.